You see, when we use pronouns, customary use is not because something is a male or a female. Yeah, it's not because something is a male or female. A ship is not a female, neither is a country. But we just give the pronouns because that's what we are. In English, you have another one called neuter gender, called it. In Arabic, no. So God chose the masculine gender, but he says clearly he's not a man or a woman. And I think he's the creator of all things.
Why did he choose the masculine gender?
You can ask the same question, why did he not choose the feminine? And he will say, why did he choose the feminine? So the Arabs...
Yeah, but is there an answer to my question?
Yeah, because in the understanding where feminine gender was considered to be someone who is very gentle, very kind and compassionate, someone like, receptive and so on. God is saying, no, he's the creator. He's the one who also punishes. He's merciful, but he also punishes. It is not within the, makeup of a woman to punish. To punish someone. So the Arab mind, this is my humble understanding, will be in conflict. God is like describing with a she, and he's saying he's going to destroy us. I mean, come on. He cannot be. God cannot punish if you describe him with a she attribute. So this is just a...
But that's how you see women.
No. I'm saying this is the understanding of a linguistic tradition at that time. But when God then tells you that he is not anything, there's nothing like unto him. There is nothing like unto him. He's not a man or a woman or of any kind. Anything that you can imagine is not God. So if he was one...
Basically, they're saying that he's not a man or a woman. He's not... But that's just... the way in which
because the other option is not using any pronouns at all, only using noun. But in language, if I keep using nouns without a pronoun, you will see how difficult it gets. That's the reason why we have pronouns. We say he, she, it, they, we, us, rather than just by names, individuals. We resort to now pronouns for a reason. So when pronouns are used, it is not because he's a male gender. Quran absolutely says no. So God, now see how it feels if I use this, okay, for the clarity then. God is one and only, because God is one and only, God has to be absolute. If God is one and only and absolute, he cannot be born, because there will be someone else who is born from. Then he will be dependent on someone else. If he also gives birth or produces something, then there's something like God. So if God is one and only and absolute and independent, not born, doesn't give birth, can there be any likeness to God in any way, shape or form? There cannot be. So this concept of God, if you deeply reflect, your heart and your mind will say, yes, I can accept that. This is how, if I were to believe in God, that's what God should be. That's how God should be like.
Why? As I said, no one really knows for a fact what is
let's address that
what
point.
God is and how
what makes you believe in the Quran.
Okay, so let's address this point.
Why can't I believe that this idea of God is not right, and why can't I believe? Because
you have to give your reasons.
I feel like you're not. No, because I feel like you're sometimes you're discounting the impact of the world and all the things that happen in the world on people's opinions. And
Give
Owen,
put an alternative concept of God, and let's discuss this too in comparison to this.
You said it to me. You said God is energy. Do you remember when we spoke? You said I believe God is just an energy around us, and we're just atoms within it.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I kind of have. I don't. That's the thing. I don't have a specific and what's the word? Haven't decided on a complete
It's just
idea
the intuition,
of what
it's a feeling, and you can't describe it. You don't have
But if you were to take
you were
it,
talking before, like you said, if you believe in God, you just feel that that's right. Like this is the right way. You just feel it's in your heart. You don't really have a reason for it, and that's the same.
Yeah, you realise you're not far off the Muslim narrative by saying energy. You're not that far off.
Let's talk about this energy. This energy. We say God possesses energy, and you say God is energy. The difference at the moment. This energy has to be either conscious, self-aware, or not conscious and not self-aware. That's the two options. If you say this energy is not conscious, not self-aware, then this energy cannot bring about anything, cannot do anything.
But I don't think it has. I think like the energy is everything.
Yeah.
Like it's infinity. It's us. It's not conscious. It is conscious. It's like it's everything, and it can't really be described.
In our world, changes happen constantly. Transformation from one form to the other. Matter, energy into conversion. One form to the other. How things like how human beings start from a baby and grow older and older and older, and eventually we die, and that's it. There's a process of change and transformation. This process is either directed, willed, or it just happens by itself through this energy. Either the energy is directing it to happen because it's self-aware, it has a goal or direction or a plan, or it just happens without it knowing or interfering, it just happens. Now, which one makes more sense is the question. Let me give you an example to illustrate my point further. Imagine there is a kitchen where you cook. Do you cook?
Sometimes.
Sometimes. Now, so he finds your kitchen, he comes to the kitchen, and he sees everything's there. There is a cooker, there is a lighter to light the cooker, the gas cooker. There's a fridge, he opens it, there's milk, there's a cupboard on the shelf, and there's tea in tea bags, and there are cups and plates, and there's water in the sink. And he says, okay, I want a cup of tea with, how many sugars do you like?
2 sugars.
2 sugars. And he waits there. He waits and he waits. You, the willing agent, the one who transforms, the one who directs, the one who changes, the one who brings about, yeah? You're not there. Okay? You're just watching. He waits and waits and waits. Days goes by, months goes by, years goes by, eons goes by, eons. His tea doesn't get produced. Why so? Because there is no willing agent to will to bring all of this together to make tea. Because a conscious agent needs to will this to happen. He's intending it, he wants it. But there's no one else doing it for you. Because you are the chef, for example, you're the cook, you're not bringing them together, you haven't willed it. This tea will never happen. Doesn't matter, you sit there for infinity. You need a conscious, willing agent to bring all this element. Open the fridge door, bring the milk out, untap, sink, the water in the kettle, put it in the cooker, light the cooker, the gas flames, boils, bring the tea bags. All of these requires conscious processes by a will. If you believe in an energy, which is in control of this universe or not in control of the universe, then without consciousness and will, nothing will happen. It will be like just energy, but no transformation. The fact that we have transformation happening and changes happening tells us that there is a controller, a mover, a director, an organizer. And that's where we say this organizer is what we say God, who possesses, the creator who possesses this energy. Yes, the creator is not without energy. He possesses the energy. He creates. Yep. So the difference is subtle, but it's quite important. The energy and the creator, the difference being someone or something that is self-aware, conscious, and has a will. So we say the creator created us with a will for a reason. Our fingerprints testify that we are created for a reason, because it's all unique. If it was just by pure chance and coincidence, 2 fingerprints should be the same by coincidence. We have established forensic science, where we use this as evidence. If the fingerprints match, it doesn't match with someone else's, because our fingerprints are unique. And God actually refers to this, people who reflect and think, do you really think that when you are dead and you're rotten, some people say, when you die, when you're dead, that's it? He will not bring you back, he's not going to gather you back together? Just no. Certainly he will. Certainly he will. Even to the very tips of your fingers. Maybe nothing special about it, maybe there is something special about the tips of the fingers. Okay, God alludes to this point, and we know why, because it's very unique. He will bring you back again to the second life. Yeah, again, as unique as you were, He can bring you back again, no problem. Because God says He created you first time, He will create you again. Is it difficult? If He creates you first time, He has all this blueprint. If you make something first time, is it difficult or easier to make something like it again? Easier. That's what God tells us to think. If you are created again, why do you then say that there is no afterlife, when you die and that's it? No. There will be justice. There will be a day of judgment where the bad and the wicked don't get away. They will be accountable for what they have done. And the good people, like yourself, the good people will be rewarded for their good. But the wicked people will have their justice seen. They may be punished for what they have done. Yeah? And this is what justice demands, punishment for the people who have done something evil. Imagine someone who is a serial rapist, killer, child molester, ethnic cleansing, whatever, right? And he gets away, lives like a king, dies like a king.
So what do you?
Where is the justice?
What do you? How would you? What is the line for that justice? Would you say? So you named like a rapist. Is someone that doesn't follow a lot of the stuff in the Quran?
I got your question. So justice means, again, you will be accountable for your actions. The actions have to be told to you first, which ones are acceptable and which ones not. Otherwise, it's meaningless to go and suddenly say, I'm going to punish you for that when you didn't know whether they're acceptable actions or not.
So say someone's raised without much of they're raised without parents, they don't have anyone instilling.
So tell them right from wrong,
instilling a religion like a lot of like good Muslims and good Christians do, and say they sin in their life. How would you say that person will be punished?
God, of course, is ultimately the judge and the arbiter, an arbitrator in terms of settling the dispute, and He is the owner and the master of the Day of Judgment. He will judge justly. No one will be unjustly treated. That means if an individual, let me give you an extreme. If an individual were somewhere in a
Aborigines or something,
somewhere not, in like an Eskimo individual, there's only a few people, no prophet and messenger came and they left. There's no guidance, no book, and the only tools they have is the intellect. They will be only judged as per the use of the intellect. They cannot be judged otherwise, like, why didn't you do this, why didn't you do that? Because they didn't even know what to do, okay? That is why in one of the chapters in the Quran, God clarifies this position. That this is called, it's interesting because this is a question people often have. This is in Surah Al-Mulk. I'll show you this, it's very interesting.
I asked this question when I was 10.
Yeah, look.
Yeah. It's like, say someone was taught bad, or say they were brought up with a father or mother that was just someone that was like immoral and didn't really have a good grasp of right and wrong.
Yeah.
They're taught wrong their whole life.
So I'm just reading the relevant parts, right? So there are some people who will be deserving to go to a punishment because of their actions and belief. So he's describing those individuals. And for those who disbelieved in their Lord is the punishment of hell, and
disbelieve, what does that mean?
They disbelieve, didn't believe.
Don't believe in God?
No. Disbelieve in the Lord, meaning didn't believe in the Creator with all His attributes and didn't believe in the laws or the guidance that the Creator sent. But it has to be made clear to them, right? Wretched is the destination. When they are thrown into it, meaning the hellfire, they hear from it a dreadful inhaling while it boils up. It's like a fire furnace, like they can feel it, hear it. It almost burns with rage. Every time a company is thrown into it, keepers ask them. So there are gatekeepers of hellfire. Did there not come to you a warner? So even the gatekeeper tells the people, you are now going to go in hellfire. Did no one warn you about the hellfire? Meaning, did you not have this message?
Yeah.
What did they say? What they will say? They will say, yes, a warner had come to us, but we denied and said, Allah, this is the name of God, has not sent down anything. You are not, but in great error.